Today on the CTV News at 5, healthcare workers at Chinook Regional Hospital hit the picket line again. Plus, the power of pink, how local students are trying to stop bullying. And we introduce you to a couple whose anniversary only comes once every 4 years.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Healthcare workers say that they deserve better pay, and they took their message directly to the Chinook Health Hospital today to tell people about it. A group of healthcare workers held an information picket over the noon hour. The employees are with the Health Sciences Association of Alberta that represents paramedical, technical and general support employees. They're protesting having to accept rollbacks to paid bereavement leave and the scaling back of minimum rest periods between shifts. After 11 months at the bargaining table, union members are calling the government's latest offer mean-spirited. That offer calls for a wage freeze for the first 2 years of the agreement, then a cost of living increase in the third and final year. Some workers on today's picket line call it unfair.
Our members are expressing dissatisfaction and feel like they've been disrespected by an employer who claims to value respect. Our members provide crucial services. The healthcare system doesn't run without the diagnostic and therapeutic services that our members provide.
Today's picketers are from a different group that hit the bricks earlier this month at the hospital in a province-wide wildcat strike. Back on February 16th, a protest was organized by General Support Service employees who are also working towards a new contract with the province, and those employees do everything from managing health records and preparing meals to maintaining facilities and assisting in therapy. Well, the leader of Alberta's NDP party says the concerns of frontline healthcare workers are important in his party's campaign. Brian Mason is in Lethbridge today speaking to party members and other southern Albertans about local issues. He says with more privatization in the Conservatives' healthcare plan, people are concerned that we'll end up with an American-style health system. Mason says frontline healthcare workers do the heavy lifting and sometimes are treated with disrespect.
The higher you are in the health system, the better deal you often get, right? Doctors were just given a 2% raise, but some other workers are being offered only a cost of living over a 3-year agreement with no increases at all. Our frontline healthcare workers do deserve to be treated with respect.
Mason says Southern Albertans are also concerned about the high electricity costs, and he thinks that the electricity market needs to be re-regulated. 1 month from today, we'll find out about the Harper government's plans to reform old age security. Finance Minister Jim Flaherty has announced he'll deliver his next budget Thursday, March 29th. Flaherty says there will be moderate spending reductions as Ottawa tries to balance its books over the next few years. And the federal government is proposing new legislation to make sure Canada's First Nations have clean drinking water. Many First Nation communities across the country don't have safe drinking water, and part of the problem is antiquated water treatment facilities. Another issue is lack of water quality standards on First Nations lands. The new legislation proposes the government work with First Nations to develop rules and regulations, but some members of the First Nations community say regulations aren't enough to fix the problem.
This legislation will create new regulations in collaboration with First Nation drinking water, but does not specify how First Nations will be equipped with the facilities, skills, and resources to meet those regulations.
The federal government says since 2006, it's committed over $2 billion to First Nations water and wastewater infrastructure. Let's check out the forecast. And Dory, it looks like some flurries or light snow on the way for parts of southern Alberta tonight and tomorrow.
Absolutely, Jackie. It looks like Calgary's going to get hit with that light snowfall. I shouldn't say hit because they're not expecting huge amounts, but you know, it's a bit of a shock after you've had a sunny day. But some light snow tonight and again tomorrow. A couple centimeters on the ground. We could see the same here starting tomorrow afternoon, but certainly tomorrow is going to be the cloudiest day in the 5-day forecast. And I'll have all the details coming up in a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Dory. A Claris home woman charged in connection with the murder of a Vulcan senior appeared in a Fort Macleod courtroom today. The 28-year-old expectant mother, Bobby Jo Parks, is charged with obstruction of justice. The charges are in connection to the murder of a Vulcan senior, 77-year-old Otto Bunty Luce. His dismembered remains were found near Claris home in January. Parks' boyfriend, Timmy Engel, is charged with first-degree murder in the death. Parks will return to court March 28th. And a former Lethbridge Regional Police officer facing several weapons-related charges will now have his case heard before a Calgary court. 63-year-old Daniel Francis Bennett is charged with 9 counts of weapons trafficking, all stemming from a Calgary police investigation dating back to June of 2010. A total of 16 firearms were seized, including a machine gun. This morning, an application was granted to move the charges to the Calgary court system, where the case has been adjourned until March the 14th. A Brooks man was sent flying when a blast went off as he opened the back door of his home last night. It happened just after 6 o'clock along the 600 block of First Street West. RCMP say the homeowner was opening the back door when an explosive gust of air sent him flying backwards. He suffered only minor chest injuries. No one else was in the home at the time. Firefighters managed to put out the blaze that started in the basement that caused the gust. Investigators are calling the fire suspicious. And regional police have made another dent in the Lethbridge drug trade. During a routine traffic stop, police found cocaine, heroin and cash. 33-year-old Chad James Patterson is facing 4 drug-related charges. But police weren't done there. A warrant executed at a Northside home also revealed marijuana, cocaine, cash, stolen property, and a handgun. The estimated street value of the haul, $11,600. 23-year-old Megan Linda Vakovich is charged with a number of drug-related charges. Both made their first court appearance this morning. The investigation is ongoing. Today is Anti-Bullying Day, and that has the Boys and Girls Club teaming up with the Red Cross and Lethbridge Regional Police in marking the 5th annual Pink Shirt Awareness Campaign.
So lots of different types of physical bullying out of there.
Their goal, make sure that everyone has the knowledge needed to eliminate bullying. The initiative started in 2007 after 2 high school students in Nova Scotia stood up for a young student who was being bullied for wearing a pink shirt to school. Grade 4 students from local schools were on hand to hear from the Lethbridge Regional Police on how they can take a stand and what can be done to protect themselves against bullies.
It's a problem that's not going to go away anytime soon, unfortunately, but we strongly believe that by focusing on the topic of bullying at a young age and generating awareness at a young age, that these kids will have the tools and the resiliency to better cope with bullying down the road, and hopefully be those kids that will stand up for it and eliminate it from the community.
A recent study shows half of Canadian school children report being bullied, and that 45% of kids feel unsafe going to school every day. Well, once every 4 years, those born on February 29th get to celebrate their actual birthday. But for one local couple, it's a chance to relive their leap year wedding. Stephanie Massicott has the story.
Chris and Lindsay Mabey are celebrating their 2nd anniversary, even though the couple has been married since 2004. They like to be unique, and when it came to choosing their wedding day, it was no different.
I think we both knew we wanted to get married in 2004, and we looked at the calendar to see what days would stand out to us, and when we realized it was a leap year, February 29th, what a great day to pick, so that's why we chose that.
But what about the other 3 years when the 29th doesn't come around?
I celebrate February 28th and he celebrates March 1st. So it's kind of great because you get like 2 days out of it each year.
Although the couple does celebrate every year, they agree it's not really their anniversary until February 29th.
I think it's nice that my husband only has to really remember once every 4 years.
I have a lot of help remembering every 4 years as well, because it's the 29th. Everyone remembers that we got married on the 29th. It's a leap year. Hey, Chris, your wedding, your anniversary is this year. Do you know that? So it's been really beneficial for me.
The couple has big plans to commemorate their 2nd anniversary, heading back to the place where it all began.
This year we're going to kind of relive our honeymoon and wedding.
We got married in Las Vegas on an acreage outside of town, and we spent part of our honeymoon in Los Angeles.
Another unique tradition the leap year brings around is ladies' privilege, where a woman can turn the tables and propose to her man. Stephanie Massicott, CTV News, Lethbridge.
And the reason behind the extra day comes down in part to the way that the Earth moves, rotating around the sun roughly 365.25 times. So in order to get everything back on track, we add February 29th to the calendar. The University of Lethbridge is raising the curtain on a risque play that's getting some high praise.
How long have you 2 been together? In human years? On and off since the beginning of time?
Their latest production, Wide Awake Hearts, features what critics are calling some of the wittiest dialogue to debut in a Canadian stage in years. Canadian playwright Brendan Gall was recently nominated for the Governor General's Award for his debut play. It's a story about a director who sets the stage for his own destruction. He casts his wife and his best friend to star in a movie he's making to find out they're having an affair.
It's a really fun, engaging evening at the theater. It's something you've probably never seen before at the theater. We're using a lot of film and multimedia in the show. So if you're looking for something new, or if you're just looking for something to stir up some emotions in you, come on down, because I think this is definitely a show for that.
Wide Awake Heart runs from March 1st to the 3rd at the David Spinks Theatre at the University of Lethbridge. And the warm weather has helped attendance for Ag Expo's opening day. Organizers expect 20,000 visitors to attend the 3-day event. More than 350 exhibitors from across North America display new technology and equipment. As one of the last shows on the circuit, Ag Expo has a different vibe and involves more networking. And this means big economic boosts for Lethbridge's service industry as well as its agricultural industry.
We'd like to think it's more of a social gathering, because a lot of the people buy their product, their machinery, new technology stuff probably back in the winter. But there's also people that will come here today on the Wednesday and come back Friday and sign off on what they've seen and what they want to buy.
Ag Expo continues tomorrow and Friday at Exhibition Park. It's a big day for the cattle industry here in Alberta. The 112th annual bull sale in Calgary is expected to be better than last. Prices have been on the rise since 2010, and South Korea has finally ended a 9-year ban on young Canadian beef. Calgary's bull sale sets the bar for the rest of the bull buying season and is seen as an economic indicator for the industry. Last year, the average bull went for almost $4,300, the highest since 2000. And speaking of money, a banner day for our dollar on the markets. The loonie gained 0.6 cents to close at a 5-month high.